pack. Each pack sold separately.
Gotta find a way just to play just a little game. Got a compulsion, wanna be a champion. I got madness. What in my brain? Summon the dragon, blue eyes white. Sending the sword to revealing light. Gotta think, be wise, realize the situation. Animate your cards, make a power combination. Sick a pow, sick a pow, sick a pow, pow. Yeah. Wanna do, wanna do, wanna do. Sick a pow, sick a pow, sick a pow, pow. Madness. Wanna do, I'm brave. Monster influence in my face. Madness in my face.
Yu-Gi-Oh! Dark Neostorm! Destiny heroes make their return, and Valkyries descend from the sky. Overlay to summon new Xyz monsters and rank up the power of Cybers.
9 cards per pack. Each pack sold separately.
Yugi-Muto, where are you? The Pharaoh's calling me. Solve the puzzle, transformate into the Dual King and teach me. Exodia, look for everyone. It's in my possession now. The duel is done. Yo, Weevil, don't you understand? It's not the man in the fight, it's the fight in the man. Yeah, I'm the master of the duel. It's been my pleasure to meet you. Let's go! Welcome, welcome, welcome to the world of Yu-Gi-Oh! Into the world we go. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the world of Yu-Gi-Oh! Welcome, welcome, welcome to the world of Yu-Gi-Oh! Into the world we go. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the world of Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yu-Gi-Oh! Dual Power! You can power up your collection with special variant artwork of every Yu-Gi-Oh! Series Ace monster on top of 6 all-foil booster packs. Dual Power!
6 packs of 5 cards per box. Each box sold separately.
Yugi-Muto, where are you? The Pharaoh's calling me. Solve the puzzle.
And we're back. So we have one last match. It's going to be an exciting one. So as we saw, we had already 6 very good matches today. A lot of in contention. We have 2 players locked in for the World Championship, both fellow Germans for you.
Yes.
So it's Joshua Smith and Johannes Kaushal already locked in. They're gonna go to Germany still, so Berlin.
I should have brought a flag or something.
Yes, I guess so. But yeah, now I don't suggest you to have one because we are still in the Netherlands,
Yeah.
and there is a player competing from Netherlands,
Absolutely.
which is Raphael Neven. He's gonna try his best to actually get to the World Championship, and his opponent is one more German.
Yeah, Dinh
which
Cowboy.
is Dinh. Yeah.
Dinh Cowboy is going to be feeling so happy if he wins this ticket to World. He can take the subway from his home to the World Championship.
Exactly.
So actually, if he would be a really nice guy, he would just allow Raphael to win this one.
Yes,
He's like,
and-
well, you can have the flight. I can just get there somewhere else and qualify tomorrow, for example.
Indeed.
Guys, we actually do have the bracket for you, just in case you're just tuning in. Let's bring that up on the stream so you can see how this tournament unfolded. This is some high-level tournament that we've had this weekend. The first match we saw this morning, Paul Schuffenegger from France going up against Joshua Schmidt. What a back and forth between these two. In the end, Joshua prevailed. You can watch all of these matches on YouTube. You can check it out there. If you missed it this morning, you should definitely check it out. It was one to remember. Second round, Raphael Neven versus Sebastian Ma.
Yeah, it was still quite a back and forth one. A lot of emotions. We almost always got to the end of the round. Like they played almost for 40 minutes, everyone.
Yes.
But then Rafael in the end prevailed, and that meant that France got knocked out of the top 4.
But still very, very strong showing by the French duelists. The third match that we had was Adrian Dursun versus Dinh Cowboy, an all-German affair, so to speak. Adrian Dursun also super consistent player, as all of these 8 players, but he's not one of the guys that had like these big tournament victories in the last season, like Dinh Cowboy.
Yes.
He was just every time in the top cut.
Yeah, which is quite an impressive feat. And he is also a national champion because last year he won in Spain. But he wasn't as lucky this year playing in France. He told us that he's going to try to Romania next year. So
he's just
it's
doing
quite,
all of Europe.
Yeah, quite the traveler. And the last match for top 8 was Jake Quincey against Johannes Kaushal. Again, a back and forth one. Jake, it seems like he had this game, so it seems like he was going to win. Johannes repeatedly told us that he wasn't feeling well during this past week. He had fever, he had, I don't know, just a sick. And in the end, though, he prevailed. And that meant that he was playing against Raphael. So.
Right. So those basically set the stage for our semifinals. If you're wondering how this ended up, we had seatings for these players. Like the first 4 guys. First was Raphael. Second was Paul Schuffenegger. They were basically put on opposite ends of the bracket, so they couldn't face each other in the semifinals. This is how we ended up with this. The 5th to 8th place, they were randomly drawn, going up against one of the first 4. All right, so that is basically how we ended up here. We just saw that nerve-wracking game between Raphael Neven and Johannes Kaushal. Raphael was feeling it after the match. Emotions got the better of him, and who can blame him?
Absolutely no one, because when there is so much on the line and you invest in a whole year of playing, he told us jokingly, I guess, that he was going on vacation in Ecuador playing Yu-Gi-Oh! But actually, I think he went to an event every weekend almost. So he put a lot, he put his soul and effort, just like most of these players in the top 8 did. This time it's gonna be once more a mirror match between these 2 guys. It seems like great minds do think alike, exactly, and it is gonna be a very good one. I'm excited to see. Regardless, they're both winners already. They won YCSs both, so it is gonna be a very, very good team for Europe. I'm excited about it.
Absolutely nothing left to say. Let's take you guys to the feature match table where these guys are ready to get their game on. It's Raphael Neven versus Dinh Cowboy.
Okay, so the die roll is surely important because we saw it doesn't always mean the end of the match, absolutely not, but game 1 is usually decided by it. So let's see who wins it. And
the bracket was a little bit misleading because we saw who ended up in the finals, but we're not going to be playing and streaming the finals because Joshua and Jonas, they don't mind who is considered first or second. They just care about going to Worlds. So it's basically all about this 3rd place playoff. This is the last feature match of the day. And I'm expecting a lot of emotion in this match. Even though Dinh Cowboy is not known for that, at least while the match is underway, I cannot imagine he's not going to get excited if he happens to pull this off. But Raphael Neven is allowed to go first.
Yes.
He won the die roll.
And you can see that he's a lot less tense at the moment. If he lost another die roll in a row to the mirror match, it would have been very bad for him. And to be fair, this makes sense. Dinka won his die roll against Joshua, so it is fair that they both won one and lost one.
And Dinh Cowboy was actually playing against Joshua Schmidt in a situation where it looked like Joshua Schmidt had all but wrapped up the game.
Yeah.
Dinh Cowboy hit the sniper three times in a row.
Yeah,
3 times in a row. This did not happen here, so Raphael must be feeling good about his chances here.
Indeed.
His opponent not feeling too lucky. So far, so good. So we talk about the die roll. In the first game, both of these guys are not playing any hand traps or nothing to stop the opponent.
Yes.
Is it already over? I'm just going to ask it straight up like that.
It is a very, very good percentage. I mean, I don't want to just close the deal right now, but like Rafael has a very good end. And it is almost over, I would say, because when you have a lot of advantage like that, it's tough. But we saw actually in previous rounds that it is possible to actually come back if you're playing this deck, I would say. If you're playing a different deck, it is quite tough to, if you don't drop an hand traps. But at the same time, though, the other decks should be making hand traps. So I think it is still possible. We can see Dinka and not being
two-faced.
Yeah. And especially because Raphael is playing a lot less Thunder Dragons, he won't be able to shut down the cards from Dinka at the moment.
Yeah.
So we still have a game on our hands.
We definitely have a game on our hands. I mean, if these guys can do anything, it's basically pull off miracles on a, I don't know, hourly basis, basically. We've seen so much crazy plays today. And I would be surprised if we wouldn't see those again in this match now.
Yeah, indeed. And I think this is the best preparation for these guys going into the World Championship.
Yeah.
Usually, and at least for me, it was like that in a lot more players. The European Championship was the way you were going there. And no one is used to this 20 or 30 people events with champions whenever you turn left or right. So this is very similar and a good preparation. So.
And half of them are used to playing very, very different formats with different cards, and sometimes the local communities play very differently. So
Absolutely.
that also plays a major, major role. Which brings us to one of the most popular questions that is regularly being asked in the Twitch chat, or basically answered in the Twitch chat. Who are the better players? Is it the Europeans or the Americans?
You want me to get in trouble, I guess. So, I mean, I think the correct answer at the moment, it could be neither, I gotta say.
Ooh, very diplomatic.
Yeah, no, neither, because I actually have a better answer, I'd say. Because at the moment, I feel like Jesse Cotton from Canada, so not the USA, and Paulo from South America had the best season of the year. Unfortunately, we will not be seeing Paulo at the World Championship, but we will see Jesse for the third time in a row.
Yeah.
So I want to say Jesse at the moment has to be the favorite in general. But overall, I think there are very good players everywhere.
Yeah.
Even in Australia, we have Bohdan Temnik, who is quite a successful player.
He's a machine. He's a machine. We can call it what it is. It's called a spade a spade. It's also making every tournament more exciting that he attends. Even if the tournament doesn't go very exciting, what's happening in the evenings is always very exciting when he's on site.
I agree.
So there's more stories to tell. So again, Raphael Neven, he looks like he basically took a big dive in a water tank. He's now in the zone, he's in the tank, thinking about his next plays, completely in the zone, and he's just going through the motions. What is the field that he wants to end up with here?
He was definitely going to try and go for the Red Abyss, which we have seen, the Erratic Link, and since he doesn't have access to Thunder Dragons at the moment, he doesn't have that option, so we will probably just see the number 38. Raphael, gotta say, is the only one in this top 4 that I think is playing the Borrelsword Dragon, which is something that we have not seen in the other matchups. It does help once we get to game 2 and 3, when there are more of a grind games, we can say.
So looking at the deck list again, something that's surprised me the entire weekend is he somehow picked up a middle name. He always used to be Raphael Neven, and now he's Raphael Pelaya.
Yeah.
Pelaya, is that a middle name that he just...
I guess.
Maybe it's a middle name that you get when you're doing duelings in Ecuador, and they're like, hey, I got a name for you. And then you ask them, what does it mean? And they say, oh yeah, this is actually a master duelist in Ecuadorian. so that's probably what this is. All right, so this looks really, really good for Raphael Neven. And obviously he needs that after that last match. Really going on his nerves. Fresh hand for him.
And
so
he
many
now
options.
picks up the Thunder Dragon engine, which was the only thing he was missing with this hand, which means that he will be able to shut down a few of the cards in the Inca Zen. Again, once showing that, sure, the nerves can get to you, but this is a new match. You shouldn't really be focused on what happened in the last one. And we saw that with like Jay Quincey, for example. Like, sure, mistakes can happen, but then you have to be very quick to recover and just be fine.
Interestingly enough, Bolan, who we mentioned earlier, actually is under the impression that Ruff could have played this even better by making Saryuya for 4, added Wyvern, and then made Pisti, and he can probably dig for the Thunder cards. But at the end of the day, does it matter? I mean, this is...
Yeah, it
like
really didn't.
There's no higher score than a perfect 10, basically. And this looks almost like a perfect 10 at this point.
It does. I don't think it gets better than this, especially because Raphael is not playing Diablos. I think this is the best opening he can have with his deck, so...
He's not feeling too bummed out about this.
So.
So yeah, he's in the zone, and he just needs to basically get this home at this point, because we've seen that before. We had situations even in this tournament with these super experienced players that had the victory on board or in their hand, and they somehow failed to just like pull the trigger, like get all the way, get over the finish line. I can come up with 10 more phrases, but I'm just going to stop you right there.
Okay.
And if I remember correctly, it was actually Paul going up against Joshua.
Yeah.
There was a situation where he could have won, but then
Yes, absolutely.
nerves got the better of him.
It did. That was crazy. Like I was sure Joshua was gonna actually miss on his third consecutive World Championship appearance, but in the end, as you said, the Paul nerves really got into him, and we are seeing Joshua. We would see Joshua once more, and this time in his hometown. So
Yeah, this is
at least
the home country.
Yeah.
And that's also very interesting, because you can see a lot of the psychology going into these matches. Like Joshua Schmidt kind of always looks miserable when his opponent is
I mean,
on the draw, on the play, and he has to watch what's happening. So even when Paul had a perfect situation, Joshua's face didn't give it away, because he just looked as he always looks when the opponent is playing. And now we got a new strategy going into this tournament, being introduced by Jonas Kaushal. You just show up super sick. You are prepared for this because you've been dealing with the sickness the entire week, and then all of your opponents are folding in front of you because they are not used to sneezing the entire time.
it works.
All right, so wow, what a board for Raphael Neven
Yeah,
at this point.
impressive board here. It's
Is he just playing with his opponent at this point?
probably. And it is just a matter of what we said multiple times. We're not seeing it happening yet, but the time rules in this kind of events are different. So if you're Dinka, there is really no reason to scoop it up right now, because you wish to begin the third duel in time so that you have a chance to re-roll the dice.
Yeah.
So it makes sense that he doesn't scoop until he has some plays. So.
And also, one of the things that normally is a good reason to continue playing is that you want to see as many cards from your opponent's deck as possible. But here, both of these guys have perfect information, at least in terms of what's in the opponent's deck, not what's in the opponent's hand. That would be cheating. So they swap deck lists prior to the match. They know exactly what the opponent is playing. And
He picks up his cards.
Yeah.
So
Game number 1 goes to Raphael Neven from the Netherlands.
Yes.
We just mentioned the deck lists. They know exactly what is going to be introduced from the side decks into the main decks here. And that's going to be very, very crucial. If I remember correctly, in the last match that Dinka played, Leo mentioned this, that his side deck is actually one of the better ones for this particular tournament. Would you agree?
Not entirely, but yes, overall.
Oh my.
Shots fired.
Leo's career is just going down the drain right now.
No. I love you, Leo. But overall, I would say that, as I was actually mentioning to Daniel, I was coaching like Raphael for a few advices. Like he reached out to me, like asking, "What do you think about a couple of these things?" And I was telling him he should have sided drone and lockbird. We saw it worked out greatly for Joshua Smith. It literally entirely got
Stopped
his
his
flight to Berlin. So
it's like flying with Lockbird Airlines.
Yes, exactly. So I'm surprised that in the end Rafael didn't side it, but Dinka is still in a pretty good spot. Like he's the only one actually at this event maining multiple copies of Phantasmi.
I think that was the card that Leo told about and said this is a big deal.
Yeah, it is a big deal, but at the same time, it would have been a bigger deal if he was playing like Droll or Ghost Ogre to draw into it. But yeah, he does have quite a few tools going into Game 2. I'm very surprised if, once again, I'm waiting for some of these players to actually pick second and try to mind game their opponent.
Yeah.
I really wish we were going to see that.
did actually do that in the first match that he played.
Yes.
Very first match that he played. I mean, this is already the third match that we see him play this weekend.
It is.
And interestingly enough, his opponent was playing a going second deck, but he didn't prepare for going first. And then he had the perfect opening hand for going second with a Winged Dragon of Ra's Fear Mode. Looked so promising, and then Dinka is basically, you go first. And he was like, man, this is not what I wanted to see here. All right, done with the side decking, done with the shuffling, or almost done with the shuffling?
Yeah, I saw through Dinka's side deck, he did not put in his Anthrop, so he will be going first here, and Raphael is gonna try to get more answers than he did in his last match against Johannes.
Right.
So,
but he's got two chances. Even for Raphael, it must be feeling really nice. I mean, did he go 1-0 in the last match as well? No, Jonas was 1-0.
Yes, he lost the die roll, so Jonas was 1-0, and then
he lost the die roll, so Jonas was 1-0.
I mean, it is
Yu-Gi-Oh matches in one sentence.
Kind of brutal. I mean, it is not, honestly. I think this is one of the formats where lately you actually get to play very well going second. Like, I also was very successful going second, and Sky Striker proved to be really good at doing that. But this particular matchup does matter because no one is playing Anthrops in the main deck.
Right. Actually, there's a bit of a discussion in the chat, and you're being called out because Bowden says he definitely did side deck. It's like 100% sure about this, that Dinka did side deck in his opinion.
No, he did side deck, but
not the going second cards.
Not the going second cards. Like the only thing you do is switch the Phantasmi that you're maining for Lancia or Veiler in this case.
So we just need to clarify this for the people that don't speak English but rather Australian.
Yes.
Coming from two people who speak English as a second language. Okay, it's fine. We can bring the offensive shots today because it's not like much is on the line in this little match here. It's just who is going to Worlds. No, let's get serious again.
Not Bowden.
not Bowden is the correct answer.
No, I'm joking.
Look at how Raphael is shaking here.
Yes.
Interestingly enough, Tinkerboy seems somewhat relaxed, and we're starting with the sniping party. That is not the hit.
Yes, it is a fine one, but not the best one. He's also playing Chupacabra. He's the only one alongside Joshua doing it. But we did see Raphael not being that happy with his hand. He has Phantasmi, but he doesn't have any other Anthrops. And the only Anthrop he can draw with Phantasmi is Ghost Ogre.
I just love that the dangers have names where you say the name and then the other person feels like saying, bless you. As if you were about to sneeze or something. But no, that's the actual card name. Of course, it's Chupacabra.
Yeah.
All right, so good opening, okay opening for Dinka. Not as good as Raphael's opening in the first duel.
It is not even close, and he's basically capitalizing on dangers. Right now, he's not showing to be as good as Dinka at sniping them, but
who is?
Yeah, no one really. He should get.
And I remember this. They're really good at putting a buddy on the board and drawing a card, and we can see that right here. If this is the first time you're being introduced to dangers, first of all, what did you do the last year?
Yeah.
And second of all, you must be feeling like, wow, this is really good. I can summon a bunch of monsters, and yet I get to draw more cards.
Yeah. And actually, Japan is not that far from having the dangers as well. So
Sorry, I
Yeah.
thought you were going somewhere completely different with this story. I thought you were going, actually Japan is not very far from China on a world map. But you're talking about the OCG and which cards are
Yes.
being released. Okay.
Exactly.
I'm sorry for introducing geography to this stream. We're not that far from Australia, actually.
yeah.
All right.
But yeah, now, okay, so Rafael is desperate enough to be dropping here. The Phantasmi, does he get the Ghost Ogre? He doesn't. So Rafael doesn't have any more interactions. He's not going to have Entrops, but Dinka's hand is not looking that great. So maybe this will be enough for him.
So do you think that was a bit premature from Raphael, or was it the right play to go for it here with Phantasme?
I mean, it is pretty usable in this part, but I don't know. It's I'm not completely sold on it. We saw a lot of people having different options about the card itself. There are people wanting to main a lot. There are people even cutting it from Salamangreat. We had Paul with his very unique strategy in the top 8 where he doesn't even play the card, but I like it when you can throw multiples of it.
Well, in the first round, Raphael was still playing Salamangreat. At least according to the
Yes.
layover on the stream. And someone brings up some memories here. Remember how mad you were, Marcello, when you were in the top 4 of Hungarian nationals when you sniped 2 Thunder Dragons with dangers. So someone has some inside knowledge here.
Sure, but I did win anyways. So I guess
Oh,
you
shots fired.
were mad there.
Wow. Wow. Okay, all of Hungary is going to be mad at you when you're going up in the feature match in the future again.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, I'm probably just gonna do what Adrian Durson said and just change country every year and try to complete the map.
Yeah,
So
yeah, I can suggest Ecuador as a good traveling
Yes.
location. That definitely
it's
works.
a famous European nation, Ecuador. Yeah.
Exactly. You can you actually play nationals abroad and then come back to Europe and play one more?
I don't think so. Actually,
Let's not go into this. I don't think we're going
Yes.
anywhere with this.
But yeah, now as I was saying, not the best opening from Dinka, but he at least has the Lancia as a backup plan in his hand, which is pretty nice here. But I think Raphael is pretty happy with this opening, not having drawn any entrops. So
Yeah, so Dinka didn't have a great opening. Does Raphael have a great comeback? Because so far it doesn't really look that way. Or am I mistaken here?
No, you're definitely right. But I think, as I was saying, if you are Raphael and you take a look at what happened in this game, like you only having Phantasmi not drawing you one of your 6 entrops, you are super happy to have this board from Dinka.
Right, I see.
So it is looking very good for Raphael, I want to say.
Even though it's not going great, he has no reason to complain. Is he? Okay, we need to resolve this with 2 die rolls, I guess.
Yes, which is
So,
kind of makes sense, but okay.
yeah, I mean, it's randomized. At the end of the day, it's fine.
But now we do see the Lancia. Raphael draws into his entrap a little late here. So we can see he drew both Lancia and Ghost Ogre, but he's still in somewhat of a decent spot.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen that before with Dinka Boy, where he just says, yeah, you might have all the hand traps and stuff, but I'm just going to OTK you anyway. And obviously that's what he's hoping for here. First, he needs to have another turn, and currently it's Raphael Neven's turn. A man who is like hell-bent on a mission to make it to the World Championship. He's really prepared for wherever we're holding this World Championship because he's been traveling all over the world to play this game, except for maybe Japan.
Yeah.
But he's going to be prepared, even if we have, for the first time ever, World Championship in South America, which is something I just want to throw out there. I don't remember. That would be cool.
That would be very cool.
Yeah.
And unfortunately now, though, Rafael is getting very unlucky with his draws. He doesn't pick up... He's picking up all the cards that are bad against Lancia. But he will be able to exactly normal summon Ogre, try to go for Saruyo, and these draws are going to be the most important of his entire career, I would say.
So in Saruyo we trust. If you're a fan of Raphael Neven, there's 1, 2...
This is not good, this is not good, this is good. Okay, he got there
4
at the
cards.
end. The first shoe had me shaking, now he got 2 incredible cards, so he's looking very, very good now. So Raphael must be super happy walking into this.
These are the moments you're living for. Like,
Yes.
you basically, it all depends on the next card you're drawing. You already saw 2 cards, 2 more to go, and then suddenly you got the 1 card that is going to be out here. Must feel nice for Raphael Neven.
Absolutely.
But I guess the tension is like his. If we were to apply like blood pressure tests at this point, some doctors would tell people not to play Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yes.
They'll be like, no, this is a health risk for you guys. Go back to eating burgers and stuff. That's more healthy than this. What's happening right now?
Even just doing commentary, we're actually getting like goosebumps.
That's
almost,
actually
so,
true. Yeah. Several times today, I had to change my shirt. I had to. I didn't because I didn't bring another one for today. But I should have. Yeah. In the future, once we got like smell sensors and stuff here, the commentary is gonna go downhill, very very fast. No, we're gonna have deodorant at that point. No worries.
So now, Rafael is free to do what he wants. And going back to what you said about like him traveling to a lot of events and missing Japan, there is actually a chance to now play YCSs in Japan. So they are being introduced. They were like last year, and there will be 2 more. Once in November. There will be one in Tokyo, I believe, and then we are going to have one more in Osaka, I'm pretty sure, but that's going to be in 2020.
Right.
So it is kind of exciting. They're having like a different twist on it, where it's just best of 1 with no side deck, which is quite a unique format.
I mean, if you're playing more rounds, it could be fine.
Yeah, it is definitely interesting.
You just fix that basically, that level of less chances to win the match even after you lost the first duel by adding more rounds. That is a possible way to go. And it rewards you if you're playing crazy strategies. So it could be very interesting. As someone who has been playing in best of 1 formats, and at first I thought this is terrible, but then it ended up being quite cool actually.
Yes.
All right.
But yeah, now he can even advance his plays. He just used the Brotor right now, I believe. So looking very, very good for Raphael. There is still plenty of time, so we are not going to worry about that too much.
We are correct with the app that Dinh is holding 0 cards in hand, right?
Yes,
just making double.
We
double
are. His only card in his hand was the Lancia, which he used. So
kind of crazy when you look at the graveyard, and there are like so many cards, so many Thunder, well, both Thunder and Danger cards,
yes.
and suddenly somehow he ends up with like next to nothing on the field. I mean, it's not bad.
No, I mean, if you invest everything to just have a very, very good board, sure. Unfortunately for Dinh, it was quite short of that, so...
Yeah. So Raphael still in the tank here. He's going through the motions.
Yeah, and now the big difference from the other players' deck list is going to come in handy, because he can actually go for the Borderless Ward if he wants.
And you said that. You said in games number 2 and 3, it's going to be a big, big difference maker. Why is it such a big difference maker? Is it just that big swing that he can do with Coral Sword?
It is basically just a card that comes up and steal games. So it is not a card that you use as a like regular combo piece, but it is something that in this kind of simplified game state where both players are using Entrap, then you just bring it out. It could be something unexpected that you can also bring out with the Agar Pain for free.
Right.
And it is just game changing, so you can completely and easily, I'd say, win you the game there.
All right, so Raphael Neven is going through the motions. He is, as I said it earlier, he's a man on a mission. He wants to punch the ticket to Worlds. Dinh is from Berlin. He can almost take the subway to the World Championship, but there is a chance that he will have to go to the Euros tomorrow to punch his ticket. Raphael Neven is in such a good spot right now.
Absolutely, he's got this locked up.
Completely on the finish line. Can he get there? I mean, we can see it in his body language where everything looks like...
Let's see.
He feels like he's got
picks
this.
Up, and the answer comes down.
Raphael Neven.
Yes.
First time
Raphael
today
Neven.
that we see a 2-0 on the stream. 7th feature match of the day. And you see emotions getting the better of him.
Absolutely incredible.
We might not have a winner's interview, but who cares at this point? Let's talk about this crazy match in the post-match analysis.
Unbelievable one. It's so good. Such a good match.
What a match between these two, like, juggernauts. Dinh has come so far. I mean, 1 year ago, nobody really knew him.
Absolutely.
I think. And suddenly he's like in the top 8 of the best European players without a question.
One of the favorites actually going to the event. Like going to 3 YCSs in a row and placing third, second, and first is just like a completely absurd thing.
If I had to put my money on someone who is going to be qualifying with the European Championship tomorrow and on Sunday, Dinh would be my first choice.
That's exactly something that I want to talk about, because while I'm very happy about Rafael Neven, he was really
number one in the points race.
He was number 1 in the points for almost the entire year. I think actually the entire year. He was really going for it. He was putting so much on the line. He loves Yu-Gi-Oh! You can really see it.
Yes.
So he really deserves this. We have to mention that what happened last weekend in the USA was that 3, and it's a lot, 3 players that didn't make it on Friday ended up making top 4 at the main event and still going to the World Championship. Yes.
Oh, that's just crazy.
It's incredible. So they're going to have a VIP package. We said it. They have 2 buys for tomorrow. So these players are not out.
Yeah. I mean, but even then, I mean, you got to give it up to them. What a show they have put on for us today. If somebody tells you, hey, we're going to be featuring a tournament of just 8 players, we're going to be streaming 7 matches, you might be, nah, should get repetitive very, very soon. Not at all. I mean, this was the first 2-0 victory that we saw all day. The entire day, we just saw 2-1 because the difference in skill is just so tiny between these players.
It was definitely some of the best Yu-Gi-Oh! I've seen in a while. We had a lot of back and forth matches with incredible players on both sides. And in the end, we gotta say, it was quite a good result. We had basically, I think, 3 of the favorites walking into this event. So as a reminder again, Joshua Smith is there, Johannes, Kaushal, and Raphael Neven. They all won like events. They're really, really good players, among the favorites of even fans across the world. So,
and like we said, I mean, you have to give it to them, especially Raphael Neven with that personal story. He had
incredible.
Leukemia, basically. Couldn't do anything. Was forced to stay in his bed. His father brought him Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards many, many years ago. This is how he ended up picking up the game. And then many years later becomes a top-level duelist, been at tournaments forever and ever, suddenly wins the first YCS in Prague. And suddenly he's like one of the best players in the world. And now
he wins a YCS in Chicago, so 1 more, and now he's gonna go to the World Championship, where he will prove to everyone just how good it is, how good Netherlands is. Their own country. We're here in Netherlands again, so everyone is gonna be happy. I think he's gonna just party all over tonight. Again,
maybe we can even have him on commentary for this weekend. That might be one of the questions that I'm gonna be suggesting for Daniel. Who's gonna be ready with the winner interview with Raphael Neven? Before we go there, thank you very much, Marcello. Great work today. I hope you guys enjoyed the show from us. We're sending out. We're going to be back tomorrow. It's going to be an amazing show this weekend with lots and lots of national champion interviews. Don't go anywhere tomorrow, and on Sunday it's going to be worth it. And now, let's hear it from the 3rd European player going to World Championship. It's the winner interview, Raphael Neven with Daniel Neville.
And I am here with our final representative for today from Europe, from the Netherlands, Raphael Neven. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
How are you feeling?
It's unreal. I have no words.
You have spent a year. You have won a YCS. You are now qualified for Worlds. You are on fire this year. What is your plan going forward?
I promised my mother that if I qualified, I would finally really study university. So probably a lot less Yu-Gi-Oh! But yeah, probably still going to all the YCS in the world because I love this game.
And are you going to be playing tomorrow?
It's going to be really nice weather tomorrow, so maybe not. We'll see. Probably, but...
Well, once again, congratulations. You've clearly put so much work into this event. Good luck in representing us at Worlds, and we will join you guys tomorrow.